it's Missy. I am back with another SimCity Build It video. And today I'm going to do my absolute best to give you guys as many design tips as I possibly can. And so, for those of you who haven't yet joined on the stream, I'm just going to go ahead and get started. This is the area that I'm working in right now. So I started working on a template here. Let me grab it real quick. Hang on. Wait for a couple of you people to get in here. I was trying to do an episode of the Escape the Darkness series, and I just can't seem to get my thoughts collected enough to do it. It's going to be a difficult episode to do, and I'm just not, the mentality isn't there today. So, remember when I told you guys you have to be in the mood for certain things on certain days? Well, it's like that. I just can't seem to get in that mood today, and it's something I got to be all there to really talk about. So I decided that for now I'm just gonna do what I know how to do best and ignore my life and play SimCity. So let me find my pen here and we can talk about what I want to talk about. And okay, so designing your city. Maybe you're at that point where you're just brainstorming, or maybe you're at the point where you've been playing SimCity for a really long time. You have a very congested city, a lot of stuff on it, and you just don't know where the hell to even start. And that's where a lot of you guys are at, you know? Or maybe, you know, it's not too congested, but again, you don't know where to begin. And so we're going to talk about that first. And a template is kind of what I wanted to use to be able to kind of guide you in the direction in which you want to go. And so I decided that I was going to wait until I was ready to do my regional maps before I decided to kind of explain how this template's going to work, because I've never actually used it. So it's going to be interesting. I actually haven't even made it yet entirely. We're actually going to make it right now. So what I had started to make it, and what I decided is the very first thing that you want to do, very number one first thing, okay? And I don't care if you are at the point where let's say you have your city in one direction, but you would like to change it, and you just see too much work to do that, too damn bad. I mean, put forth the work, okay? So even if it's going to be a lot of work, do it. So that's first thing, is getting the direction. And this is extremely important, you guys. I know you might not see it as important as it really is, but it is very important. How you view your city, whatever way you generally have it turned, may not necessarily be the way that we view it, right? And so in order to see what you see and the perspective that you see it, you don't want to have just total chaos. Okay, so if I was to face my city this way, it's going to make a huge difference on how I do my layout versus if I do it this way, right? Now, all my cities have generally faced with the HQ to the left. That's what I'm used to. Now, what you really, even if you plan to have buildings in multiple directions, you still want a dominant direction, so that you have something to kind of base your design on, okay? So that's first thing, city direction. Once you've decided which direction you want your city, then you need to decide what you need. Well, okay, so what you need to decide then is what level of, what level of congestion, what theme, what is it that you envision your city being? You're going to start with residentials, okay? Then you're going to do buildings. You're going to brainstorm this. You're going to think, okay, what kind of homes do you like? That's where you start. So if you like, you know, if you're really an Omega person, then that's going to make a huge difference. But you're still going to have epics to be an Omega person if you want to have an easier time doing Omega. Now, everybody's going to start off with some level of regular residential homes, right? Then you have buildings and theme. Are you wanting just total chaos? Do you not care what kind of buildings go into it? Or do you envision something different, right? So then you have landscape. And landscape is going to play a huge role in how your city ends up being laid out. So typically what ends up happening is people, they have an open city. Okay, let's just pretend that all of this is nothing. It's just one clean map, okay? Where do you begin? What do you do? Well, you start with an idea for one, okay? That's first. You can't just jump in and just know everything you're going to do and just start there. You're going to start with, what do you think would look cool? You know, so for example, me brainstorming my map. What's going on in my head? Let's say that this map was clear. Well, at first, when I was doing this city, I thought I would want water because it's actually a cactus map, and I thought it would be cool to have some kind of water on it. Not too much, of course, but some level of water. Maybe like one, lake in the center or something. And now I'm not thinking like that's going to happen. And so when I first started building this city, I actually had rivers that ran through all the residentials, and it ended up not turning out the way that I liked it. And so then later on, I started boosting my pop and things like that, and I noticed that they came out with these walls here. However, they're very expensive. And so doing something really miraculous that I want to do with it, I can't really do on this particular city. I could do it on a hacked city, but I got to get that hacked city on a phone that zooms out for me to really focus on what I want to focus on. So for what I have on here, now I'm thinking, okay, what can I do? What can the bigger picture here be? This whole thing that I put together the other day would look cooler on a different map, but it's nothing fabulous. Okay, so I'm thinking I'm not even going to use anything that I built here. Now, I know I'm going to face my city this direction. So where do I begin? What do I do? Do I start with roads? Do I start with buildings? Landscape? Where do you begin? Well, you don't start necessarily with roads, okay? Because you're never going to really know how your roads are going to be until they're done, right? And so what I mean by that is I need to figure out what I want, a general idea, okay? Like a big picture. So all the little details, where you put trees and parks and things, those are going to work themselves around the big idea. So let's say that that, okay, for example, on my sunny map, I know that I want a water world, okay? So that being said, I can focus on, I know that I want a lot of water. And then I can say, okay, now what kind of homes do I want and where do I want them? In how many increments do I want them in? Do I want, a big landscape and whatnot? And so somebody had brought up the other day putting trees in large groups. And I thought, how can I make that, look really, really good? And then I thought, well, I actually have a video on Sims Cash. If you type in how to spend Sims Cash, but I will answer your question super quick. So, okay, so you are level 35. I don't know what your city specifications are. It sounds like if you're level 35, then you probably have low storage, no maxis, and you probably don't win Mega very often, I'm going to assume. So that being said, I would probably save the 600 for a maxis. If you have maxis already, honestly, I can't really say that there's anything truly valuable for you to spend your Sims Cash on unless you don't have the two most important things that you should ever spend Sims Cash on are your shop slots, getting all 11 in each shop, and your Maxis Manors. Those are the two most important things to spend your Sims Cash on. Everything else is pretty pointless unless you're kind of unless you're in that area. So like, okay, a lot of people spend it on the contest of mayors, but they're prepping their city to get all their shop slots unlocked, to get their Maxis Manors. Once they've got that, it more becomes a design aspect. You use it as a way to buy trees and buy buildings that you want, but that we just ended a Black Friday sale, and so there's really not a whole lot Sims cash wise that you could use it on where it would benefit you to buy buildings. And so I would say shop slots and your Maxis is what I would spend it on if I were you. And like I said, I don't know what your city specs are. Okay, so again, it sounds like you... Oh boy. The Maxis has a huge benefit. Okay, it is very expensive, but with where you're at with the game being level 35 and the knowledge you have of the game, I already know you need to restart just by talking to you for 2 seconds. I know you need to restart. And that's because if you don't see the value in the Maxis, that tells me that you're not as educated on the game as you should be for the level that you are, and everybody makes that same mistake and they restart with more knowledge. And then they end up in a position where the Maxis, even though it has a high price tag on it, it's not expensive to you because you're winning 2K a week every week. And so it becomes a benefit. Now, instead of you having to rotate out all these, look at this, dude. These hospitals and stuff that I have on my map right now are an absolute nightmare. Trying to make a good design with hospitals and things like that is very difficult. And also, when you're competing in Mega every week, having 4 Maxis Manors that you can utilize, that's 4 VU a day, every day that you can stack, that it provides you. That's 4 keys, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, kind of. I mean, it has its value, trust me on that. And it is absolutely essential in design, in, comm, in just overall headache in general. I mean, yes, you can buy the coverage with coin, of course, but it definitely has its perks, that's for sure. And I mean, like you said, it has a high price tag, but the thing is, for your level, your 600 Sims cash is more valuable to you at your level than it is somebody below your level, because they have the ability to win Sims cash still, whereas you don't. I mean, you kind of do, but you don't really. Not as easily as they do. And so you could get lucky, and if you played all your cards right, you could win Mega. But essentially, it really comes down to luck at that point. Do you get somebody who knows what they're doing, or hacking, or whatever? I mean, it's not entirely luck. What I mean is, you can always run a 2K average based off the choices you make. But you could get unlucky and get put in with a hacker or somebody who is willing to spend more than they gain to win. And that happens quite a bit, especially at the higher levels. So, unfortunately, I don't know what you have invested as far as time and money goes into your city, but if I were you, I would watch some of my Should I Restart videos. Okay, so the designing aspect here. I've got all of these services, and many of you guys, when it comes to your city, you're going to have to hide these as well. So that's the other thing that you want to focus on is hospitals, Maxis, and services. You need to figure out where those are going to be. Same with government buildings. Okay, so any of the like the mayor's mansion and the Omega labs, things like that. Those, you need to find an area on your map where they're not going to be out in the open and ugly as hell for all the world to see. Try to hide them back in a corner somewhere, and you need to figure out where that corner is going to be. Now, for me, on my capital map, what I did was I just went with Omega services because I was able to condense it. Okay. So even though I had all this money put into all these other services, I said, screw it. And I just went with Omega services. And it ends up being much cleaner and easier to deal with. And it's just all around better. So the moment you unlock Omega services, I highly recommend that everybody here at least buy the first 2. Okay. So you're going to need 10,000 Neo-Simoleons saved up by the time you buy your first Omega service for each category. And that's going to cover a lot of what you have on your map, especially if you did all epic projects, because you have a high service demand for Omega homes, but you have a low service demand for regular residentials. And so we'll talk more about that later, but it's going to save you a ton of space. Okay. I mean, think about this for a minute. This one here only holds 9, whereas that's 9 of them, right? That's crazy. Okay. So you've got to have 10 of them just to get 90 coverage, right? That's 11 of them for 99 coverage. Think about that for a minute. 11 spaces versus 1 space Omega. The Omega water tower takes up 1 space for 100 coverage versus 1 space for 9 coverage. So you're going to save all that space. Now, that being said, it's going to be much easier not only for you to maneuver shit around, but it's just going to look better. So once you've decided, okay, where the services are going to be. So for example, this map, I haven't decided whether or not I want to put them along the back corner, along the side, or just shoved off into one corner and then kind of wall it off with a bunch of high, tall buildings. I haven't decided, but I do know that I need to condense it down to get, I want to get the Omega services, but they're fucking expensive right now for me. Give me a second to check on this. Okay. What does 430 pop have anything to do with anything with time? What do you mean? So 430k pop, I'm confused. What does that mean? Because pop doesn't really tell me how much time you spent on the game or really have a value. Pop isn't really as important as people make it out to be. I mean, I can get 200,000 pop placing one building on this map. You know what I mean? Like, whoop-de-doo. That just means I have more service demand. I have more people, and I have more service demand. Once you've unlocked the key features in the game, it doesn't serve a whole purpose, really. It's mostly just cost. It ends up costing you to have high pop. It can be a goal of yours, absolutely, but it doesn't really have a benefit, right? So I guess I'm confused. When I meant, like, what time, how much time do you have in your city? I mean, how many months have you played? How much money have you spent? How many hours a day do you play? I don't know what's so funny, but okay. All right. So, anyways, back to what I was trying to say. As far as design goes on this map, I haven't decided entirely what I want to do with it yet. I've just tore it to all hell. I have everything all over the place. So, what I am going to do, since I have it cleared over here, and I have a better idea of kind of the picture that I want to create on this map, I'm going to go to this map instead. So on this map, I started placing the water down, as you can see. Now, I haven't decided entirely if I want to do any residentials in this area here, but I do know that a lot of these residentials, I don't really like the look of, all that many of these. I do like the fact that they're short, but I don't know how much I really want to keep of these. So I quit building them for the time being. And I'm trying to decide whether or not I'm going to go with epics, because I can't do mountain epics on this one, right? So if I go with epics, I have to go with something taller, which sucks. Really sucks. So my only options really is to either do epics or short regionals. Now I could do the Latin homes, which would look cool. And I am going to do some Latin homes because I want to accent them off the beachfront. I just haven't decided how many and where. And so I think what I might do is do, you know what? I might do just a boardwalk. Here's an idea. Okay, so here's kind of what I just had a vision of. So line the beachfront with Latin homes, right? And then kind of do like an hourglass cut with the roads, you know, and have it veer down and do a waterfront casino with like restaurants, floating restaurants along the sides and a boardwalk. And then maybe a large, well, I wish they would give us a larger fountain area. Okay, so I'll show you what I'm kind of envisioning here because I think I might actually do it with walls. That would look kind of cool. I think I can get it done relatively quick too. Okay. Let's see. Can't remember where I put a lot of my water at. I think it's on, is it on my limestone map? Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. It must be. Let me double check over here real quick. Yeah. Okay. Now, I really like this map. The good thing about this map is it's cut into sections, and if you go all the way to, you can make it look good here, and it's got this really long map that's really wide. This is by far my favorite map, and you can kind of, you know, I just had a really good idea over here too. Okay, I'll deal with that in a minute. All right. So, I'm thinking, trying to decide if I want to do the water that way or not. Put this up here. The only reason I haven't bulldozed these roads is because of how much money I have into them. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm not going to just draw them back again. Okay. So basically what I'm doing is I'm brainstorming a template, right? I don't have really much of anything figured out as far as what I want to do, but I have a general idea and I'm going to start there and then work my way off that main idea. Kind of like when you're in school and you do those spider web type things for the writing. You know, you start with a circle in the middle and then you kind of branch off. It's kind of like that. Okay. So, put all these over here. I think I am going to have to bulldoze that road, which sucks, kind of, but whatever. Actually, yeah. So, let's move this real quick. I hate the fact that I'm going to have police, health, and fire over here. It just sucks big time. All right, we're going to go with Latin homes. We're going to actually place one out here. Okay. Now, okay, so I actually don't need to bulldoze the whole damn thing. I think I'm going to do this. Go to here, and we'll open up this opening here. Because I know that's going to go. Okay. So now what I was thinking was going like this, kind of, there we go. Now this was going to have a delta right here. And then have water that kind of flows right on. That's awesome. So, did you get epic projects when you hit level 24? And is everybody here having... Oh, damn it. I need to write that down so I don't forget. Okay, you guys, I have a management video coming out. I'm writing it down as we speak. Because I got into a dispute, conversation, whatever you want to call it, debate with somebody in my group the other day. And it was about storage management, basically. And I wanted to kind of elaborate on it, but in a totally different perspective. And I mean, I've talked about this stuff, you guys, like rare items and how to manage things and whatever. But I think that people need to really understand that you're going to struggle with storage a lot, you know, and that's never going to change. Now, there's ways that you can alleviate that, but I think that people have a really bad habit of holding on to all the wrong things and not knowing, you know, what to sell, what to keep, when to sell certain things, when to keep certain things, and when it's appropriate to, you know, sell this type of item versus that type of item, or what you should trade that type of item for. And really, when you think about it, storage, if you had unlimited storage, it would destroy the entire game, right? So every aspect of the game would essentially have no challenge. Every aspect. Now think on that for just a minute, because if you think on it, you realize epic projects wouldn't be hard. Because instead of having to manage and only being able to hold a certain amount of certain items, you wouldn't have to. You could just stock and stock and stock and stock. And then coins really wouldn't have a purpose either, because you could just stock an endless amount of stock and really never have to spend coins. I mean, sure, you would have to spend coins on things like items if you didn't have them, but that's the whole point I'm getting at. You would have an endless amount of items, right? If you stocked enough. And so after really thinking on that, I realized that the struggle with coins, I've always known that it has to do with, you know, what you have coming in versus what you have going out. But it's more than that. It's how you're managing your items as to kind of, how do I explain this? You're basically putting those items on loan, right? And you're either buying them back for more or costing yourself later by having to remake them. And so which items are appropriate to do that versus which ones are not? And that is going to help you guys huge. And so I'll elaborate on that more in that video, but I am going to do that video, I think, today, because I think it would really, really, really help you guys. Okay, why does this one look so much shorter? Oh, because it is. That's why. Okay. I think it's one notch shorter. Does anybody kind of understand what I was trying to say there? Okay. Let's see. Nice. Awesome. Wait, whoa, back up. No. Okay, first off, stop right there. No more epics. Not until you perfect them. That's a waste of a building. You are seriously hurting yourself right now. Secondly, why can't you hit gold? You've watched my epic videos, have you not? What storage do you have? You said you had 195 storage, you're level 24. Okay, that's, not ideal for a 20-minute gold epic, but it's absolutely ideal to hit gold. So what kind of pointers do you have? How many epic pointers were you doing? Okay, let's see. Whoop. Let's do this. That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking, okay, first, let me ask you this. Have you seen my epic videos? That's how many epic points you earned on your epic project. I'm asking how many epic pointers you had. How many were you working with? Why does that look like it's not? Meaning, when you were donating to your buildings, they have a number on top. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, right? 5 would be if you had hotspots. So when you were doing your epic, how many buildings did you have available, and how many of them, what were the point values of them? Were there 1s and 2s and 3s? Was there 1, 3? What did you have? Five what? How many points? Five buildings worth 1 point, 1 building worth 3 points, and 2 worth what? Like what did you have? Okay. So when you watched my epic videos, did you hear me lecture and say how to put all your 1s and 2s in storage and how not to even think of doing an epic project or even attempting gold until you had 10 3-pointers? That's why you're not able to hit gold. I mean, you can. You absolutely can. I hit gold with 1 1-pointer and 1 2-pointer halfway through, but it's not realistic. It's an absolute nightmare. You need to do it any kind of comfortably within a couple of hours with the type of storage that you have to prep, right? And with your level of items unlocked and your storage, if you had enough pointers, there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't be able to hit gold relatively, soon, like within an hour or two even, maybe about 2 hours with your storage. If you were to prep right and have enough pointers, you could do it in an hour or two, depending on your level of commitment and how well you prepped. And if you had any help from teammates. But you need to understand something. Every time you level up, every time you do an upgrade, you level up. Every time you level up, you unlock items. Every time you unlock items, your epics are going to become more expensive and more difficult. So if you're doing epic projects on homes that you are very limited to the number of homes you have, you're not going to have very much homes to mess with before you have to level up again. And so if you're completing silver epics on very valuable homes, it's going to hurt you big time, like big time later. You're going to have to level up again before you can do another, epic to add to whatever it is you already have. And then you have to take into consideration that they now don't allow you to move clipboards. And you can't do epics on homes with clipboards. So some people have like 3-4 clipboards that are stuck because they need to be, they have to have like landmarks unlocked and stuff to even complete them. So you need to take that into consideration as well. And then also take into consideration any homes that are not regular residentials that you can't convert. And hitting level 25 is a big commitment. You unlock quite a bit, actually, at level 25. Aside from regionals. I'm talking just items. Because you can avoid unlocking a regional map. But, unlocking level 25, you really can't, or shouldn't do that until you have everything maxed out. And then by then, even though an epic, is extremely valuable, essentially a lot of your struggling is over, And so right now would be the time where you would really need those to be gold, not silver. It's not the end of the world, but if you continue down the path you're continuing down, it will be, or, it'll be a major setback. Okay, so first thing, pick the type of epic projects that you like the look of best. Once you've accomplished that, go back, rewatch all my epic videos, or at least the very important ones. Put all your 1s and 2s in storage. Put only 3s out. And do not attempt gold until you have at least 10 buildings worth 3 points each. If you can get 4 pointers, that would be even better. Now, everybody here should have seen all my videos about buying that type of stuff when the Black Friday sale was here. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking with this, I'm thinking, I don't have enough walls, that's what I'm thinking. Oh boy. Okay, so I don't know if I'm actually even going to use this color wall, but because that's all I got right now, that's what I'm doing. So, go with this. I'm just kind of messing around trying to see if I can get something to look good here. I've never actually, I kind of messed with these walls, but not a whole hell of a lot. So I'm just going to see what I can manage to put together. Okay, so I see they zigzag very odd. I know that from the last time I messed with them. You know what I think I might do is try to build a castle display real quick. So, anybody here who has a castle, they kind of need to give us like maybe a drawbridge or something more medieval, would be cool. Some actual horses would be nice. That's fine. I know. I'm just telling. Calm down. I'm just saying that I'm saving you big setbacks and mistakes that are unfixable, and it would suck to have you restart. And everybody here every single person ends up making a ton of mistakes and then getting so far in a hole that they have to restart. And I've been able, with my channel, to kind of catch people at the pass before they get too far, and some people get really lucky and they're like within the first 10 or 15 levels when they find me, and they're able to really save themselves from a lot of struggling. But the issue is that when you haven't really struggled, you don't really understand just how much, I've helped you in a sense. And so you can't really truly grasp the concept of just how much you're hurting yourself by the couple of mistakes that you've made. But like I said, you're also not, if you proceed on doing what I say, like in my videos and stuff, that 1 or 2, mistake isn't going to be a big issue. It's if you continue to make that same mistake is what I'm saying. So having 2 silver epics is not the end of the world, okay? But like I said, if you were to continue on doing what you're doing with the mentality that you have, it would be. And that's all I'm trying to say. I totally understand, dude. I have made the mistakes I made. Oh my God. Don't feel bad. Having 2 silver epics is... I would love to have 2 silver epics be my only mistake. Fuck. God, that would have saved me a lot. Okay, let's see. Where the hell? I'm wondering. Oh, that's what I was doing. I was totally like sidetracked. Okay, so I'm going to try to build a quick display here. Oh, it sounds like you made a huge improvement from where you were at to where you are now. Absolutely. If you haven't already, if you click on my channel, there's a playlist that's labeled Most Important Videos. And that one, you might want to take a look at some of those, see if you've watched them all, just to be sure that you don't mess anything up. And then there's the Missy's Building Guide 2 video. I don't know if you've seen that. It sounds like maybe you have since you speed leveled to 24. I think you'll do fine, though, honestly. If that's your only major mistake, I mean, you'll be all right. Okay, let's see. Yeah, okay, so if you have 2,800 Sims cash, I would buy the Maxis for sure. Get that. You'll still have 1,800 left that you can utilize. Get all your shops maxed out if you haven't already. That is absolutely essential. Do not do the Christmas shop, though. And then after you've done that, get all your depot slots. That's next. And then focus on leaving the rest of the money and start stacking that up to compete in the contest of mayors and put towards another Maxis. Okay, so I think, you know what, you guys? I think I'm going to have my city face this way, but I think what I'm going to try to do is have the waterfront. I'm trying to figure out how to make this castle display look good. I don't know how I'm going to do that just yet. So we'll start with this. Let's go with the castle idea here. I'm wondering if I should do 1 or 2 castles. Yeah, I don't think I have enough wall pieces to go around 2. Okay, so I would fine tune anything that you have left. Get anything that you don't have on the Missy's Building Guide unlocked. And I mean, okay, so I guess the next thing, really, before you can set many more goals, would be deciding what kind of city it is that you're wanting long term. And that way you know kind of what you need to focus on, you know? So are you wanting an Omega city? Do you know what kind of epics you like? Do you know, is population super important to you? You know, picking the kind of city. I'm trying to see if I can build this in a curve and have it actually kind of look decent. Okay, let's see. Take that one out, actually. Wow. Okay, I know that castle is going to be there, so I'm actually going to move it so I don't have that problem again. Let's do this. Put this here. Then we'll do this right there. Okay. Now, I'm going to go with this. I hate how the wall piece goes so damn tiny once you kind of round the corner, you know? Okay. Now, actually, wait. Let's go with this. Like that. Okay. can't decide if I want to bring the walls. I don't think I'm going to bring them all quite that high. Let's see. Give me a second and I'll check your messages. I'm trying out these walls. I haven't really messed with these a whole lot, and so it's interesting to say the least. What am I doing? I'm in the wrong area. Okay, I don't like how you can't go and put stuff like all the way up against them. That sucks. I wonder. I didn't know it did that. Oh, I have it facing the wrong way. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay. To put a piece between the two of those. I hate how much they cost. I know that. Oh, I don't even have enough to buy another wall. Okay. So, let's see. I think I'm going to do this here. I can't remember if I had wall pieces over here or not. Nope. Okay. So, for the time being, that's what I get. Let's try this. Okay, I don't know if I want that much of a curve. Might have to lower it down a little bit. No. Trying to see what looks good and what doesn't. It's interesting how these pieces kind of just do their own thing, you know? Okay. Let's see. I think what we'll do is we'll try to... No, go that way. That didn't work. I'm short a piece. Okay. You know what? Actually, I think I'm short like 2 pieces. Okay. Well, I know what I'm doing there, so... I'd have to go further over if I wanted to do that. Okay. Sorry, you guys. I'm kind of in my own little world at the moment. Alright. So, for the time being, until I can figure out a way to get more walls, that's what's gonna... I'm just gonna pretend that that's completed. Now... just to kind of mess around with this here. See what we got. I hate how you can't center these things. Not very easily. What the fuck? Alright. How many spaces is that? I think it's 3. Yeah. Okay. So... I'm gonna have to use a different castle. That's gonna drive me nuts, dude. That is not gonna happen. Where is... I'm gonna have to go get that castle that I had. Okay. Let's go grab a couple castles and we'll come back. Or a couple buildings. I was thinking about doing twin castles, but I don't have enough walls to even mess with that. But that was my main idea there. Alright. What do we got? That's definitely staying on this map. Got trees. I'm trying to buy one of these tea house things with... I think I have enough. Yeah, I do. Okay. Let me just double check to see what kind of... Whoops, forgot about that. Alright, let's go double check that. So, anybody here interested in needing... Okay, does anybody here need help with design? Coming up with a design. And wants to try out and be the guinea pig for this template that I'm designing. Because if so, hit me up. And you can hit me up on Facebook or what, you know, if you have a different social media app or whatever, that's fine too. You just have to tell me what it is. And then you can either friend me on Facebook and I could travel to your city and help you that way, or, you know, we can do it through Messenger or whatever. But essentially, I'm looking for a couple of people to kind of test this template on. All right, let me grab a few items here and figure a couple things out, and then we'll go back over there. Let's see. Oh, there you are. Okay. Yes, I agree. You would be a very good candidate to be the guinea pig. So, I'm actually glad you're here. Did you hear my messages? Shut up, Lo. Oh my god. Morse code. Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. Damn it, I can't... Oh my god, I forgot I started that stupid task. Fuck. Hang on, you guys. I gotta get this stuff cleared up so that I can get that other task going. And, of course, I've only got 4 Omega items, so I'm trying to get it to land on one of the 4 that I actually have. Alright. Okay, so... Have you decided which direction you're, in fact, going to make your city? Are you keeping it the direction that you have, or did you want to switch it? Yeah, I mean, if you just started the game, it would be a little difficult to start designing. But it's never too early to start brainstorming about what you think you might want later. And so you can still follow the template design. Essentially, you just wouldn't be building it yet. Okay, I'm going to have to leave those sit for now. And then what were we, oh, it's this map. Okay. So, oh, I should have grabbed one of the deltas while I was there. Let's see, where's my paper here? So I've got residential on the template. Let's see, first is direction. So I was going to do like a document, kind of like a form, sort of. Kind of like that, you know, that you would follow and fill out and for yourself in a sense. And so you'd be like, okay, you know, this is the type of homes that I like. These are the type of epics that I like. You know, how much water, you know, what type of water? Are you somebody that likes big bodies of water, little rivers? I mean, all this stuff makes a huge difference, and it makes it easier to design, at least for me. And so I'm going to show you, I'm trying to show you guys like how I make something out of nothing, or like make the bigger picture look good by kind of doing it in sections. And so a lot of the reason why I haven't got started on my regionals, aside from the fact that I've been busy, is because I just haven't sat down to really give it a lot of thought on what I want to do on each map yet. And because I'm limited to a lot of the larger buildings, I don't want to build like a really badass display on one map and then turn around and be like, well, fuck, dude, that castle would have looked really great on this map, you know? And so that's a lot of why I haven't got started yet. But I have a lot of just random ideas, and I seem to have a much easier time designing other people's cities than my own. I just come up with so many ideas when I'm talking to other people, and then it's like, I seem to always build the same general style, you know, with my terrain. And so I'm trying to kind of branch out and do something different. A lot of you can usually tell when I build something, because I don't know how to explain it. It's got a lot of, it's got a style. You know, like when you see a cartoon artist and they draw, like you can always tell when somebody drew characters for another TV show. You're like, okay, I see the artist. It's kind of like that. Okay. So I'm going to grab a couple of these. Oh, I do have those type of walls. That's right. So, for example, this. I thought that like this metal cat here would look really good on this map, but it almost blends too well. You know what I mean? And I'm kind of thinking that it might look better on a different map now. Or maybe if I, you know, put trees around it or something and kind of brought the colors out, or I don't know. Okay, so give me just a second and I'll catch up on your message here. Also, when you guys are designing, what I did, it was, well, there's two things here. So first thing is when you're just trying out ideas, like right now I'm just trying out ideas right now, like displays. I'm not really putting it, nothing's set in stone just yet. If it were, the very first thing that you always want to have placed is your coverage. That is absolutely number one, because here's what's going to happen. You'll build something really badass, and then you try to fix the health and police and fire, and it fucks everything up. You know, you got to move a house you didn't want to move, and then you got to move this you didn't want to move. And next thing you know, this beautiful display is now torn apart again. And so always make sure that you have your health coverage taken care of first. And then what you can do is you can focus on, and what you can say is, okay, from here to here, I know I have coverage and I'm good. And you want to utilize and maximize the coverage zones the best that you can. And that's why the Maxis is so badass, because you don't have to deal with, okay, I have health coverage 4 squares over, but I don't have police coverage, right? And so you actually have less coverage than you even realize because you have to have all of them. All right, hang on here. Let's see. Let me double check what you guys have put up here. Okay, so when you say you want that to be your entrance, the way that I'm visioning it is which direction are you facing it? Are you saying that if I was on your capital map, you say that the highway, here, let me just go to your map and I'll see what I'll show you what I'm trying to say. I have grid paper that I actually bought when I was helping a different girl design her city, a different person. Okay, so when you say you want this to be your entrance, are you facing this way and looking at the cars coming in? Is this the way you're facing it? Or are you saying this is the way you face your city? So facing with the beach to your right or facing the mountain? Okay, hold on. So, okay, beach to your right. Okay. Let me draw this up here. Beach on the right. Okay. And you've got mountain on the left. And you want entrance. Okay, so, oop, wrong pen, hang on. This is your entrance, correct? This one right here or over here? I'm assuming you're saying right here is the entrance, right? Or are you talking like right here? I guess really it doesn't entirely matter, but here's what I'm kind of thinking. Give me just a second here to kind of... So you want the... Okay, hold on. Here's the island. I'm brainstorming. Give me just a second here. So, 2, 3. Okay. Here, I've got it. I think I got an idea for you. Okay. I'm going to do my best to explain this here. And you can tell me what you think. And if you don't like the idea, then I can come up with another idea. Let me read what you said you want. Navy Pier. I don't know what the Navy Pier in Chicago looks like. Okay. I think... Okay. I need a piece of paper real quick, a better one. So this would be a full, kind of like a full change here. Sort of, not really. beach. And you've got your deltas. Okay. That goes there. Hang on, I'm brainstorming a little bit here. There's... What? Okay, where do you want your shops at? So right now you've got them... You've kind of got your factories over here and your shops. Where are your shops? There they are. Okay. I think I got an idea of what the shops and the factories. Now, let's see. You're 100% on that? Like, you don't want them there at all? Because there's a way you can actually make them look good on here. Now, let's see. Do you have any of the old Contest to Mayors buildings? Like, let's see. What am I thinking of? You know the castles that I have at the very front of my city? A lot of those older ones. Do you have any of those? I'm going to throw out an idea for you, so hang on. I'm getting there. You're from the U.S., right? Okay, so far, and I'm not done at all by any means. I just want to throw this idea out there to see if it's even something that you are liking at all so far. And if not, I'm more than happy to come up with a totally different layout. So far, what I have in mind is just envision everything cleared out right now, okay? Now, you said that on this area here, you wanted the entrance to be in this general area, right? So right here, you have a taxi thing, and I was going to mark that as your entrance because it kind of centers with the Maxis here. And we can deal with that bridge at a later time, maybe move it over, you know, to kind of center it with the island here because it's at the bottom. But anyways, that's separate. So say that this was your center point right here with the taxi area here, okay? Clear everything out and then do your Central Park, right? And so you'll have your, you'll have a bunch of, let's say, okay, so what you could do is like some trees or whatever right here where these castles are right here, and then have the start of Central Park not necessarily have a road. Like the road would be this road that's already pre-paved on the very front, unless you were doing like a center display. And so here's the start of Central Park. Okay, so Central Park would be straight aligned with this island. That way it's not all cockeyed, right? And so you would have this view where this would be your view from Central Park. It wouldn't be like, oh, Central Park is here and then this is over here, right? It would be aligned with it so that that's actually what your city is facing. And then take, like in Central Park, how they have the, you know how they have the tall buildings along each side. You would arrange all of your residentials to be along each side. But then over here, how you said you wanted kind of like a downtown style thing, what you would do is do all your Latin, or not your Latin, sorry, your London and your downtown stuff, but do it the other way, going horizontal, not vertical. And so that you could do a display over here that would be a little bit separate, kind of like what you were describing, like a suburb, right? And then what you would do is you would curve it off with trees, kind of maybe starting somewhere up here-ish, curve it, you know, to kind of look more natural, and curve to the start of your plumb bob bridge here so that you don't just have this water kind of trickling off the edge, right? So then, that's just the general idea for that general area. Now, over here, what I was thinking of was at the front of Central Park, doing all of your shops and factories lined up right at the beginning of Central Park. And then doing your display just after it, and then doing, that massive forest with a few lakes kind of in the middle. And then over to the left, this area, you would obviously have your other residentials and stuff, right? Now, what you could do is start doing your other displays. So you would have, like, over here, you would have this whole beachfront that you could do displays on, or you could do maybe a wall, do a wall along the side with a boardwalk, or you could do what I was thinking for services was get you to the point where you have Omega services, and that way you can just confine one tiny area of services and kind of hide it over there in the corner. And you could do like some kind of I don't know what kind of buildings you have, some kind of display, maybe even wall the services off. You see what I'm saying? Like you have a bridge, and then you just kind of put a wall around them, and that way you don't see them, you see the wall, and you can like decorate the front of it. That's what I got so far. So, I mean, let's see. This here, you could put, so imagine if you were to move this bridge over and center it just a little bit and have Central Park be centered with this island. What you could do is right here at the beginning of the bridge is do a display, like either the Christmas tree display or maybe the Sydney Opera House, or I don't know, whatever else you have. Now, you could also, along this edge of the beach, do all of your floating restaurants, your boats, and have it be kind of like a waterfront restaurant park theme thing, What else? Oh, over here in this area would be kind of, you could do, because I see you have a lot of this style. Okay, so you have a lot of the parks and things like that. Just clean all this up because it just looks like a lot of clutter, and try to arrange it and maybe do like a centerpiece, like Eiffel Tower or something. Right dead center, and then do the little Paris homes around it. Maybe even put in a really short stream that could come in from this area, or maybe from Central Park, have one lake that kind of trickles off. Let's see, what else? I mean, any of that sound appealing, or should I start thinking about something else? Because if you didn't want to center the Central Park, I'm trying to think of... Okay, so you want it centered. How do I get to your city? Wild card person. Okay, what do you mean? Okay, so the entrance, where do you think that you should put your entrance? Because you could do it right where it's at, but you would have to... Let's see, where's the center point? Hang on. So let's see. Your city entrance would be well, I mean, your entrance would still be here. You would still have a road that would maybe lead, I don't know. I mean, I guess I was thinking right here where this taxi is would be the center point of where you would put Central Park's, you know, because that's where the center of the island is. But essentially, you could make it wherever you want. You just would have to shift the island. So if you wanted it more to the left a little bit, because it is kind of more to the right, you would have to move it probably, I would say, at least 2 full spaces. Probably about where that pink plum bob tree is, on the right side. Or, not plum bob tree. If you were to put the Maxis on the right of that pink tree and center it right about there, maybe. Or, like right with the VU tower is about center. Between the VU tower and the HQ. It's totally up to you, though, you know, where you want to put it in. Yes. That would be yes. Let me see here. I was lining it up with where you had the placement of the Maxis. So I just kind of went this way with it, right down the center line here. But if you wanted to shift it over just one space and go down this center. Because, okay, let's look this over here. Because you would be doing a residential here. How many rows of houses would you like on each side of Central Park? Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Let's see. Perfectly centered. Well, the only way to be certain would be to count the squares when you get on your map. You know what I mean? Count them this way and then that way. If you wanted to get real technical. Because, let's see. I would think that right here at the VU tower would be the center, technically. Is right about where I'm thinking that the center of it is. You know? Because it's quite a bit from left to right, and then yeah, I would count if you're gonna go all in and do that. And you definitely with something like this, you do want to have it centered, pretty aligned. You know, you don't want to end up with something kind of cockeyed. That would look tacky. And this bridge would need to come out, right? Because you would want to center the bridge. And I honestly, since you're facing this way with it, I would consider putting a bridge that maybe looks better going vertically. Maybe even a suspension bridge. I don't know. We would have to kind of mess with that later. But I think, I don't know, Plum Bob Bridge could look pretty cool though too. I don't know. I have to think about that. As far as reviewing the other person's city that's on my stream, I can't travel to your city because I'm a president. So I can't leave my group, and my group's in war. So the only way that I can view your city is if you add me on Facebook and we're friends, or if you come to my group when war ends, then I can go to your city. Other than that, I can't do anything. Or you can send me screenshots, but that's also kind of a pain in the ass. So let's see. What about, let me think. What about your shops? Where did you want those? Or you could put your shops like, do like a downtown shopping center, you know, in front of the London area, or like I said, in front of the Central Park. Let's see. If you're in the US, it might be easier when I end the stream here to talk on the phone. Okay. Because I can draw it up on paper, and that we have kind of like a guide to go on. But the other thing too is when you do Central Park and your trees, do you have, let me double check. Do you have Green Valley unlocked? Okay, cool. So how many Green Valley trees do you have? You need to, I would start funding a bunch of dark trees, because you're going to want the dark trees for your Central Park. Start thinking about, well, you've got plenty of water that you can utilize. Start thinking about the Green Valley trees, the other, the regular dark one that everybody can buy for cash. The short light ones, those ones are going to probably be your best option for accenting that. Not really so much the yellow ones, but the short little green ones. And then the frosty trees, those ones you don't need massive amounts, I wouldn't think, but definitely you're going to want to, the dark trees for Central Park for sure. And then for the other one, I'm going to have to take a look at the picture you sent me again. And then I'm thinking a lot of these palm trees that you have, you could kind of line the back here, because you've got these like cabiny type. Are you trying to do like a mountain theme back here, or is that just kind of filler stuff, or what? Because I'm also thinking that you could do, I'm thinking if you were to put your services here, island it off, wall it off, and then do bridges to it, and then do a display so that, you know, yeah, they'll be there, but they'll be such a display in front that you won't even really notice them. You know what I mean? And then the bridges will connect them to the main road so that they're actually accessible. Okay. So the camping area, that would be actually a really cool idea that you got going on here. If you were to utilize this top corner here as a campground area. And I'm talking like do the adventure theme thing. Put the other campgrounds, and you could kind of go, you would have to extend the trees just a little bit more, but you wouldn't want to do it too far. But that could be a cool thing to do. Or do it over here, but no, I mean, well, I mean, it might look better, honestly, if you did a camping theme on that back wall and then did something more, I can't even think of the word for it, more, well, what's going to be on this island here? I'd have to take a look at that picture again, because I see that you have homes there, but they're not built yet, right? And so, you know, how tall of homes are we talking, and what kind, and how many, and all that? Or are you not sure? A lot. Okay, so like this here, you could do your roads whatever direction, vertical or horizontal. If it were me, I would do horizontal and do like a, let's see, Latin homes, and then do, oh, you know what would look cool is if you doubled up the residentials on each side, and then right down this center strip right here, this one here, do a bunch of little shops and then do side by side on each side. Do 2 on each side of the Latin. Or just do little sections of like 6 homes. Okay, so if that's the case, okay, wait, hold on, let me read that again. So what do you want going on in this area here? Because okay, I'm trying to figure out the best way to explain what I'm trying to explain about this area. It looks very busy, but it's hard to say, like, what's going on. Like, you just kind of see what I'm trying to say about that? Like, there's so much little detail everywhere that it's kind of hard to focus on what's really there. You know, what picture you're trying to create here with so much little details. Does that make sense? Like, all these parks are just kind of placed everywhere, and then you've got little roads veering off over here. Let's see. And then you've got like empty spaces of trees, and it's just very like little parks doubling up here and empty space there. It looks very disorganized. Does that make sense? I think you could do a lot better in this area. I really do. I think you got sloppy. I think you did. I think this area you put some work into. This here. I can tell because it's all lined up and it's all, you know, color coordinated. And then over here, it's like the overflow. Like you've got the boardwalks going every direction. Okay, let's see. What do you got? I got a traffic jam there. That's what you got. Let's see. People are probably pissed. Okay, so hold on. That goes this way. I think this is going to be... Do you have the casino, the pink casino? Or what kind of casinos do you like? Do you have limestone yet? Double check. Because there is a... Okay, yeah, you unlocked limestone, the last one, just like me. Okay, so... You know, okay, here's what I want you to do. If you could screenshot your... Well, hang on. Let me... You don't have any casinos. What? Okay. So the pink casino, if you like that one has a really good accent on the Latin homes. Okay, let me ask you this. What's your favorite residentials? When it comes to epics, when it comes to short buildings. Yeah, that's why you don't want to do your regionals until... You want to get your capital done, because capital population has nothing to do with unlocking regional maps. But your regional pop is going to be kind of a bitch to do. And so, for me, what I did was I just focused on unlocking all the maps, because I knew if I didn't, that the layout design that I was going to come up with would never, ever hit 10 million pop. I knew that. And so I focused solely on unlocking all the maps, and then I knew that I could take everything, you know, apart and build what I wanted to, but then still be able to unlock all the key features in the game. Not to mention, designing a lot of what I wanted to do required those trees that you unlock with limestone. And also because I like some of the buildings that the hotspots that limestone has to offer. And then also, if you also want to be very focused on what you're doing with your regional coins, and you really want to, because you're a high level player, to make all the difference. So if anybody, like, hang on here, I think I'll talk more about this when I have a better connection, you guys, because I'm actually I'm on my way home right now, and so I'm gonna have a really shitty connection, and a lot of what I'm about to say is actually really, really, really important. So I think I'm gonna hold off until I get home where I have a better connection. And but I just want to say this, that for you higher level players, I have a really badass video coming out for you guys as far as goals go and how to make progress and actually achieve something when you're in that situation and you're in that rut where everything is near impossible, right? And so a lot of you guys have struggled for 5-6 years or whatever. Maybe you finally hit max storage and you have all this year's worth of time or years worth of time put together, and you have all these buildings and they're all just in this cluster, you know, and maybe there's things that you guys want to achieve that you really just, you don't know how. And so I have a way to kind of get that achievable for you so that you can get all of your goals completed. Like, for example, you have a lot of regional maps unlocked, especially for what level you are, right? And so it seems as though okay, let me pull this up before I say anything more. Whoop, wrong thing. Oh, wrong thing again. Jesus. Okay, so looking at the cities that you have, you've got 85, 1. Okay, so it looks like Cactus was probably the first one you unlocked. And let me go look at your other maps here. Your map's unlocked and looking good and being successful, right? But right now your main focus is your capital, of course. Now, in the meantime, you want to be multitasking your regional to benefit the capital, right? And so what can you do in the meantime as a high-level player to be successful long-term and short-term? So anybody here who is in the same similar situation, think about this for a minute. What are your main goals? Your main goal is to unlock all maps, okay? Then design, or whatever your goals are. And you need to focus on getting high pop on your regionals, but that's not really a focus right now for you. But your focus for you right now is getting regional coins to upgrade your hotspots and buy trees, right? So, especially when it comes to design. Right now, the best thing that you could do is start buying any regionals that you see that you have unlocked with any extra coins that you obtain. Take those items and sell them to the bubbles that pop up, even if they're just the factory regionals. It's going to be helpful, trust me. You'll start accumulating and doing your regional shipments. You'll start accumulating all these regional currency that you can spend on designing your city, you can spend on hotspots, and you can start upgrading them so that when you get to the point where you actually want to start doing epics, you have 5-pointers, or you have some that are, or when you get to the point where you want to start boosting your regional pop to unlock your other maps, you have those available to you, right? And so that's something you can do, you know, in the term of you're working on your capital. It's just focus on, maybe check your regional map every now and then, you know, fill your shop up, sell any regional items that you come across. That's very important. Now, if you're somebody who doesn't like the regionals, you don't want to mess with them ever, I mean, that's unfortunate because I don't know what you're going to do. You know, the game's going to die off. You're going to get to a point where I was at, where you're going to have your capital done and you're going to be bored. You're not going to have anything to work towards. Everything will be done and you'll be sitting there going, well, now what? You know? And then eventually you'll be like, well, I guess now I'll deal with a regional map. And you now have just wasted a ton of time that you could have been utilizing. So a lot of people have like this really large hate for the regionals. But trust me, with the Missy's Building Guide, I've set you guys up for a very easy time. I don't think people have a clue just how easy they're going to have it. Okay, you guys, I am going to jump off here. I have to go into the store. And then I'll be home and I'll be doing that storage video. Because I think it'll be really helpful for a lot of people. So anybody here that wants me to review their city, if you want me to do it on stream, then you need to friend me and tell me that, you know, like, hey, can you review my city, blah, blah, blah. If you do not have me on Facebook, then you can add me, but you've got to tell me who you are, right? And otherwise, I'm not going to add you. I get way too many friend requests. If you want to join us on Facebook, all you have to do is type in SimCity Build It MissyAnneYT, and all of our information, my guides, videos, updates, everything gets posted to that Facebook page. So for now, I'm going to jump off here and I will be back shortly. And I might kill this Walmart lady with the bell, I'm telling you.